Give free information about Islam. We also have free books. Yeah, where do you come from?
I come from Chicago, in the U.S.
Chicago. Yeah, US. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome. So we have English Quran, and you're from Iran. Yeah. We don't have Persian, but we have on Google Drive digital library. You find like in Persian, as well.
When was this built?
I'm not really sure. I'm usually in Sulaymaniye mosque. Yeah, you know Sulaymaniye mosque?
Not yet. But
Yeah, it's beautiful. You have to visit. Yeah. So I don't know much about this mosque because I rarely come over here. Yeah. So let me give you a Quran. It's all free. So this is in English. Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have a Quran? Did you take a Quran before?
I've read before, but and this is in the order?
Yeah, this is English. Yeah.
Okay.
And we also give this pamphlets about prophets. So starting with Adam, ends with Muhammad. So they're all prophets. 25 mention in the Quran. Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad. Yeah. And some prophets in between. In total, 124,000 to all nations. So every nation receive a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
And the job of the prophet to remind people, do not worship a cow or a stone or an idol or a human. Worship only your creator, the one who created you. So every time people forget about God, God sends another prophet. And these prophets, did miracles, and like Moses split the sea, and Jesus cured the blind, and Muhammad split the moon. And you have the Quran is the most miracle that we have today, until today. It's full of eloquence and wisdom. Nobody could imitate the Quran or bring anything like it. And there are some scientific miracles that we get from the Quran. So in the Quran, everything is accurate. Everything is, there's zero errors. There's zero contradictions, internally or externally. So, for example, the Big Bang, the expansion of the universe, the mountains underground, the levels of the waves, the level of darkness is under the water, many waves. So a lot of scientific truth in the Quran we can get. It's not about science, it's about guidance, but everything is accurate. And it's fully protected. When Muhammad was illiterate, he couldn't read or write. So he received this revelation from Angel Gabriel, and he memorized it. And he said it to the people, and his companions also memorized it. So until today, the oral tradition kept going. So today we have 15 million Muslims memorize the whole Quran from cover to cover in Arabic. So there is no chance for anyone to come and change a letter or a word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fully protected. It's gonna be protected until the end of time. So everything in it is valid and is understandable from the time of revelation today and until the end of time. So it's meant to be guidance. So anyone that Allah wants to guide, He leads him to this path. Yeah. And
can I ask a couple questions?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
The original Quran was in Arabic, yes?
Yeah.
And so when people translate it to English,
yeah,
there may be many different interpretations and translations into English.
Yeah, Arabic is a rich language.
Yeah.
So some words may combine multiple meanings. So the translator must be careful to translate it to the best way possible.
That sounds very difficult.
And some words have no word like in English. We have to compensate with multiple words. Yeah.
And the poetry is part of it. So that makes it more difficult.
Yeah, so back then in Arabia, they had poems and prose. Mm-hmm. So when the Quran came, it was like a different category. Like it challenged everyone. So people were battling with poems, In the time of Moses, people were battling with magic, right?
Yeah.
So his miracles was about magic. His hand became white, he threw his stick, it became a snake, right? The time of Jesus, peace be upon him, people were competing with cure and health and everything. So his miracles about, putting life into things and into the bird or curing, all with the power of God. The miracles of Muhammad to bring this Quran, which is full of eloquence and wisdom. So people were competing in poems. Someone say a poem, the other say another poem. So they were competing. So when the Quran came, it challenged them all. So they couldn't, respond.
First rap battle.
Yeah. So that's the. And God said in chapter 15, verse 9, indeed we have sent down the reminder, indeed it's upon us to protect it. So God promised to protect the Quran. That's why you see a lot of people memorizing. So, yeah.
The second question, you had mentioned something about splitting the moon, and I had not heard this before.
Yeah. That's one of the miracles that Muhammad did. He also did multiple miracles. For example,
what is the splitting of the moon, though?
So the people, disbelievers, the people of Quraysh, they came to him. He said, show us miracle. He said, what do you want? They said, I want you to split the moon. He said, okay, watch. And he, with the power of God, he ordered the moon, and the moon split it 2 parts. So each part went into a side. And then it came back together. So today we can see it with NASA. They have a report about this. there's like a specific like place where it's like where there's line.
Yeah, a fissure maybe.
Yeah. And they say it's been like being compressed, you know, like with this edge, it's being compressed. Yeah, so this is the same movement that it happened, you know, before, and people, like, when they saw it, they thought it's like a magic or magic trick, you know, it's on us. So they asked the caravans that came from different places.
Did you also see it?
Yeah, they confirmed. Yeah, so even the people from India, they saw it, because you can not all the world saw it, because, you know, in some parts of the world it was like morning, so only some parts of the world could see it. So from the people of India, from, you know, Persia, from that land, it was still like it was like dusk. Yeah, this was like sun is setting, you know, so they could see it. Yeah, so there are also like some scripts from the people who can testify they have saw it, you know, in some books in India. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I did not know that.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And one time in the battle, one of the companions, you know, he got cut and his eye fell. It was like hanging with the with the thing with the yeah. So he went to the prophet. He said, "Cut it so I can keep fighting." So he picked it up and put it back. So he started seeing with this eye better than the other eye. You know, until his. So we see like a lot of miracles. So most of our prophets, they had like multiple miracles, but not all of it is like recorded or original. But we as Muslims, we respect and love all the prophets, but we cannot take them as guidance. For example, Jesus, we don't have chain of narration till Jesus. Yeah, we don't have chain of narration of what Moses said, what Moses did. But Prophet Muhammad, we have. Yeah, and God protected all prophets from sin, so they can be like role model to us. Yeah, and these books, there was no such promise to protect it, so it was bounded by people and time. Yeah, for a specific people, for a specific time. So we can find some remnants of truth. We can find in the Old Testament prophecy about Prophet Muhammad. Yeah, and so on.
Another difficult question, but
okay.
Maybe it's your personal belief or the general consensus. But were they born as prophets? Were they chosen as prophets, or did their actions make them prophets?
So Allah chooses a person from each nation. You know, the most righteous person, the good person, the good heart. Yeah, He chooses him. So mostly by the age of 30 or 40, they start, you know, being like prophets. Yeah, they start to receive revelation. For example, Moses, God ordered him to go to the mount, and he fasted 40 days and he received the tablets and so on. And Muhammad, until the age of 40, people all know about him that he's trustworthy and honest. So he never uttered a lie in his life prior to prophethood, and he never cheated or stole anything.
So they're protected from sin even before they mature.
Yeah. And they never worshipped like an idol or a different entity. Yeah, they have like, even Abraham, his father was idol making. Like he have like a manufacturer for making, you know, stones for to sell as be. So at the young age, he realized that this cannot be my God. You know, he cannot protect himself. You hear the story about when Abraham went to the temple and he saw multiple statues, and then he destroyed them. He kept the largest one. He put the axe in his hand, and they came at him and asked, "Who did this? We suspect it's you." He said, "Why you suspect? Look at, he's carrying the axe." They said, "He cannot move. How can he?" I said, "Yeah, exactly. How you worship in this way? He cannot even protect himself. How do you expect they're gonna protect you or provide to you?" Yeah. So then they threw him in the fire, and he didn't burn. You know, you heard the story, right? So from a young age, he was like, he questioned himself. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So from I'm sick, so I cannot hear myself. So from a young age, he was like, he knew, and he was looking for the truth. Yeah. It was like innately in him. So he went on a mountain, and he was looking. He saw the sun. He said, "This is my God," and the sun went away. He said, "My God should not go away. He should like keep sustaining me, keeping me alive, giving me food, and everything, protects me." And then he saw the moon. He said, "This is my God." And then he saw a star. "This is my God." And all of them fade away. So until he realized this Creator is more than these things. Yeah. So you're so welcome.
I can have this one. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I like that you're having a question. And what's your belief background? Are you Christian or?
I was raised Jewish, but mostly secular.
Yeah. So I have the Quran and also have the Bible. So I have the Bible as a study. So from the Bible, I see some attributes of Jesus. For example, he said, I'm prophet of God. It's not my will, it's your will. And when they asked him about the hour, he didn't know the hour. So from here, we can see like all the prophets did pray like a Muslim with forehead on the ground. For example, Abraham and Moses and Aaron. And this is Moses and Aaron and David and Joshua and Manoah. So this is Ezra. I'm going to show you. You know how Muslims pray? We raise our hands, we say Allahu Akbar, and then we bow down and we prostrate, right? You know the movement, how Muslims pray? Yeah, so if you read here, this is Nehemiah 8, 8:5, yeah. So all the people stood up, and Ezra blessed the Lord, the great Lord. It's like when you say Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, great Lord, great God. Then all the people answered Ameen. That's when we recite Al-Fatiha. You know, when by the end of it you say Ameen. While lifting up their hands, what are they doing like this? And they bowed down their heads and worshipped the Lord with their faces on the ground. So they bowed down and they prostrated. So this is the same movements. So that was Ezra. Ezra is mentioned in the Quran as Uzair. So Uzair, one of his miracles that Allah caused him death 100 years and then he resurrected him. So he had the Torah. So he met two people from the first life and the second life, yeah? So he met prophets from his first life and met some prophets from his second life. So here are the names that he was praying with, yeah? You find them here, like Shema, Malchijah, Hashum, Zechariah. Yeah, those are the people. Some of them are prophets, some of them like regular people. So they all prayed together in congregation. You find the same thing, you know, about all, you know, you find the disciples praying, yeah. Yeah, so I have all these markers that all of them prayed with forehead on the ground. Yeah. So
Muhammad was illiterate, but had he read the Bible?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I actually have a copy of the Quran in my place, so I want to save this for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. We can benefit. I'm Yusuf, yeah. Like Joseph, yeah. Nice. If you have a question, feel free to ask.
Yeah,
so this like tells us that it was always one message. But when people deviate from it, yeah, they create their own, you know, religion, their own ideology, you know, to deviate from the truth. So you say this is like ways of Satan. But the main message is one. They all came to say, you know, the commandments, the 10 commandments. You hear, O Israel, your Lord is one, the Shema. The second commandment is do not worship idols. Which is how in every faith today, they have like idols in churches. They have like associate partners with God or limit God with some attributes. Yeah. So we as Muslims, we believe what God tells us about Him in the Quran. And there are some remnants in the Bible of truth. For example, they say God is eternal, God is all-knowledgeable, all-powerful. And the most important, God does not change. God is consistent. So it means Quran is the same as the Torah, Quran is the same as Injil, Jesus, yeah? So we lost these books, but we have the same teachings. So God does not change. It's not like it was okay to kill, it was not okay, then it was okay. So God doesn't change His mind. God is consistent. So by reading the Quran, which is a protected and preserved book, we can really say this is from God. So it's like you read the Injil of Jesus. It's like you read the Torah of Moses, yeah? So we follow the original message of the prophets, yeah? So you're welcome. And I have the Quran over here. Yeah, this is the Quran. It's both in Arabic and English. So these are the scientific miracles of the Quran. You know, it was revealed 1,400 years ago, an illiterate person in the middle of the desert. So you find about darknesses, for example, there are levels of darknesses under the water. Yeah, you have to reach 2 kilometers underwater to reach full darkness. So God said, when you stretch your hand, you cannot see. So that's 2 kilometers down. So there's no way that we dived. We cannot even dive today. And the lowest point on earth is in the Black Sea, between Jordan and Palestine. The sun and the moon have orbits. Until recently, people were convinced that the sun is steady, constant. But recently we found out there's like a specific orbit for the sun. And God said we have sent down the iron. So the iron was from different planets as meteors and stars. It was not originally from Earth. Yeah. Yeah. God said we have created from water every living thing. So every single thing living have water in his body. When God said He have sent the heavy clouds, the clouds were heavy. We realized this 1,100. But until today, when you look at the clouds, you assume it's light because they float in there. But scientists said it's heavy. It's worth millions of gallons of rainwater. So all these scientific truth. So there's zero contradictions in the Quran, whether scientifically, whether for guidance. Yeah. So we can say safely say this is from God. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for listening. What's your name?
I'm Jake.
Jake. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Enjoy your visit.
Thank you.
So.